Across Africa, long-distance night buses travel through lonely highways, deep forests, and silent roads while most people sleep. Passengers board hoping to reach home safely by morning. But years ago, one night bus disappeared under mysterious circumstances. No crash, no bodies, no explanation. And according to terrifying rumors, some people still see that same bus driving through the darkness late at night, even though it vanished years ago. It was a cold Friday night in Lagos. Rain clouds covered the sky as passengers rushed into a crowded motor park preparing for overnight travel. One old white bus stood near the exit with a sign that read, "Lagos to Abuja Night Service." Inside the bus were different kinds of passengers. A young university student returning home, a businessman carrying a black briefcase, a tired mother traveling with her little son, and a quiet man sitting alone near the back wearing dark glasses. The driver, known as Baba Tunde, was experienced and respected. He had driven night routes for nearly 20 years. Around 11:45 p.m., the conductor shouted loudly, "Lost passenger, we are leaving now." The engine started. Slowly, the bus pulled out of the park and disappeared into the rainy night. Hours passed as the bus sped through empty highways surrounded by darkness. Most passengers had fallen asleep. Only the sound of rain and the rumbling engine filled the air. Then suddenly, the bus reached a lonely road deep inside a forest area. That was when Baba Tunde noticed someone standing ahead beneath the headlights. A woman dressed completely in white, standing alone in the middle of the road. The conductor became nervous. "Driver, don't stop," he whispered. But the woman slowly raised her hand. The rain poured heavily around her. Against his better judgment, Baba Tunde pressed the brakes. The woman entered the bus silently. Water dripped from her clothes onto the floor. Without saying a word, she walked toward the back and sat beside the quiet man wearing dark glasses. The entire bus suddenly became cold. Very cold. Passengers woke up shivering. Even the windows began fogging strangely from the inside. Minutes later, strange things began happening. The lights inside the bus flickered rapidly. One passenger screamed after seeing a shadow move across the ceiling. The little boy traveling with his mother suddenly pointed toward the back seat and whispered, "Mommy, that woman has no feet." Fear spread across the bus instantly. Passengers turned to look, but the woman remained perfectly still with her face lowered. Then the quiet man beside her slowly removed his dark glasses. Several passengers gasped in horror. His eyes were completely white. At that exact moment, the engine began making violent noises. The steering wheel shook uncontrollably. Babatunde struggled to control the bus as thunder exploded across the sky. Then suddenly, every light inside the bus went completely dark. The next morning, police received reports that the night bus never arrived in Abuja. Families waited anxiously at the terminal, but the bus never appeared. Search teams checked highways, forests, rivers, and accident sites. Nothing was found. No wreckage. No bodies. No luggage. It was as if the bus had vanished into thin air. Weeks later, a frightened truck driver reported seeing an old white bus driving through the highway at exactly midnight. But something was wrong. The passengers inside looked pale and motionless, and according to him, the driver's eyes were completely white. Years have passed since the mysterious disappearance of the night bus, but drivers who travel late at night still share disturbing stories. Some claim they see an old bus moving through lonely roads during heavy rain. Others say they hear passengers whispering for help from inside the darkness. And those unlucky enough to follow the bus too closely sometimes disappear without explanation. So if you ever travel late at night and you see an old white bus on an empty road, Be careful before following it, because some journeys never truly end.